Swirly, 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 swirly. Welcome back to another episode of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. It's me, Tom, waiting for Justin. Where could he be? Anyways, I see we got a crowd gathering already. So, anyhow, um, Miss Patricia's already here. Sly's already here. Alice already here. ADS was the first one in the room. Alice, did I say Alice? Anyways, it's good to see you folks. And I'm sure more will come. I decided to bring dinner with me. This is a little bit of steak, Emily Penton style. My sweet little friend Emily. Her and I, we got a love for the raw. So, anyways, she does a chopstick thing. So, as a tribute to my little pal. Haha. Sly says she's trying to find streaming for Yellowstone season 5. I was just asking my buddy today. He was telling me last night, you gotta watch Yellowstone. Like, man, what channel do you watch that on? I guess it's Paramount. Who watches it on? So I know I looked on. I think it was Netflix, and you can buy it on Yellowstone on there, but it's not included. I think it's the same thing for Prime. Oh, I was just talking to Jules. Looks like Jules gonna pop in here. So, anyways, good to see everybody. How's everybody doing? What's everybody else eating? Anybody else eating it raw? How many people think I can try and? Oh yeah, Sly's saying you can watch Yellowstone on Peacock. I did see that. The things I can do chopsticks left-handed. It's more challenging than I thought. Of course, that's a really big piece of meat. That might be the problem. So, yeah, the old left hand isn't what the right is. Okay. Anyways, what are you guys eating? ADS says he had to relaunch the YouTube app to get the stream start. Just a tip for anyone else who isn't seeing the stream. Yeah, maybe if you had the app open before I actually started streaming, you might have to relaunch, unfortunately. Technology. Can't live with it. Can't live without it. So, anyways, yeah, I stream through StreamYard, obviously. In theory, it can stream to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So, that's on the list of things to set up. It'd be kind of nice if we could just stream right into the Meat Mosaic group and maybe Autistic Carnivores or something like that. That'd be great. Maybe just live on my page. So give people a heads up. So, anyways, I guess the cold weather is here for most people, huh? It was rough today. It was 70 and sunny here, so it's rubbing in a little bit. Since I got to pay all those high taxes and $6 a gallon for gas, I might as well brag about the weather, right? So, anyways, I did a nice video with Jules. She is she's a dietitian, and she's also on the spectrum. So hopefully I'll have that up soon. Working that out, and then I think the second half of the interview that Jonathan Griffith did with me. He's the composition consultant. So it's another fellow person on the spectrum, and also a lover of them weightlifting. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to that too. I will be. Don't tell him, but he referred to me as an athlete, and I was a little taken back. So, I don't know if I explained it in the video very well, but I was like the least athletic person you ever met. So, especially as a kid. So, anyways, I was replaying the first half of that interview, and he's like, he mentioned athlete, and I was like, well, are you sure you know what you're talking about? So, anyways, I hope everybody out there's eating plenty of meat. I know I've got my meals prepped for the week. If you guys haven't seen the photos, I cut up a lot of raw steak. I use glass containers with locking lids. I freeze the steak once it's cut up, and I just take it out of the freezer, day by day as I go. I'm always curious how other people keep themselves fed. Oh, Alice says she liked the first part with Jonathan. Well, I hope you like the second part too. So, anyways, I also have been in the habit of making chili the last month or two. So I take some cooked meat with me, and of course my shrimp. Love me that shrimp. So I've been trying to get all that in order, so I can get to my busy week in work. So, in fact, I think I'm about to work a little right after this video tonight. So, see, Raymond's here. Hi, Raymond F. He sous vide 2 pounds of ribeye set at 120 degrees, then finished it in cast iron. Sounds perfect. I should probably invite myself over to dinner at Raymond's house. I think he puts a little more effort into it than I do. So I did have some beautiful prime rib last night. There is a local place here. Oh, Marjorie's in the house. Hello, Marjorie. Marge from Miami is here. I had to take my car in for service, and I had my buddy Jim pick me up. Jim wanted to go out and get a bite to eat, so I went to a local place called The Last Chance Inn in Norco, and they serve prime rib every day. And I have to say, it was a rather generous cut. I must have had, I don't know, man. The steak they gave me must have been at least 2 pounds with no bone. I was like, yeah, I'm coming back here. So, Alice says she's bored with ground beef burgers again, eating more eggs and more yogurt, huh? Going down that yogurt trail. Well, if it works for you, you do it. I mean, you can always turn that ground beef into chili. So the last batch of chili I made was like half ground pork and half beef, and it came out really nice. I'll just do it in a slow cooker. Oh, Carol's here, mindful divergent. Howdy, Carol. Well, it's good to see you here. Haven't talked to my little buddy Carol much lately, so it's good to have her around. And yeah, so the chili is just real basic. Sometimes I'd put cheese or cream cheese in it or whatever. This last batch, it was just ground beef and ground pork in a crock pot, or some people call that a slow cooker. I think that's a regional thing. Oh, Christina's here too. Hi, Christina. And the meat was all frozen, so I just put it on warm for quite a while, and thawed out the meat, and then started mixing it up, and then throw in some cayenne pepper, little paprika. Yeah, so because I didn't tell everybody my ex-wife is Hungarian, so I have to throw in that Hungarian twist every once in a while. And so cayenne pepper, paprika, and some cumin, salt, of course. And then I like those diced green chilies, the mild ones, so I put them in there. I think I put in tomato sauce as well. Oh, March says that some salt took care of her headache. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because sometimes, like, if you do hit a lull during the day, I notice, like, if I hit the salt water, a lot of times, boom, it just turns everything around. And I'd read about that. And of course, a lot of people start getting dehydrated, they get a headache. I'm not really someone who gets headaches, fortunately. I know, of course, I spent a lot of time talking to Justin, doing videos with Justin, so I've heard all about the nightmares of migraines and stuff like that. So I know Justin, he's finally here, so I should talk some shit with him before I let him in the stream. So I see him playing with his hair. Anyways, I'll let him in. So, boom.
Hey, hello,
Holy crap! What are you
hello.
doing? You putting some weed and feed on that head of yours? Because the hair just keeps growing. What's going on?
Well, they say if you go carnivore,
I
your
can't
hair.
hear you, which means nobody else can. What is it with these millennials and their failing electronics? I don't understand. I
Check,
even
check.
that's my microphone you took all the way back to Missouri. You can't get it to work. What is going on?
Check, check.
So,
It's
anyways, yeah,
working
some
here.
salt water can fix a lot of things. Of course, if you're gonna lift or you're gonna like Joe Zumbo, he he always has like about a gram of, I think he said a teaspoon, small teaspoon of table salt in a glass of water before he goes for a ride. Oh, you guys could hear him? Uh-oh, that might have been me. All right. So let me check. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to hear him. Uh-oh. Reconfigure. Let's see. Anyways, I'm trying to play something off the interwebs. Do. It is well known that most of us. Well, my speakers seem to be working, so I don't know. Let's try again. Here he is. Oh, I hear him
Hey.
already. Yeah, they said they could hear you. I don't know why I couldn't, because now I can hear you.
Oh, now you blame the millennials when it was your
Well,
fault.
it's
The
usually
boomer.
your fault. It's usually your your internet connection, your microphone, your speakers, your camera, your computer season up. I mean, come on.
It's somewhat true. What were we talking about? Oh, hair. That's right. Hairspray.
I
Raise
don't
your
really
hand.
want to talk about your hair, but if we have to.
Raise your hand if you've seen the movie Hairspray. I love that movie. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, like when I was 3. It's not like I
I
remember.
even have it on Blu-ray, I think, for
Oh
some
my god,
reason.
why would that
I
why
think
would that happen?
I think I found it at like a Goodwill and I was like, yes, I have to have hair. I don't think I've even watched it since I watched
What?
it in theater. But yeah, I think I have
You saw it in the
Hairspray.
theater?
I did see it in the theater. I'm a huge John Travolta fan.
That was a John Travolta movie? Hmm.
Yeah, he's the lead person, John Travolta.
All right. I'm a little disturbed you know that.
Um, so yeah, they say if you go carnivore, all your hair will fall out. So it hasn't happened yet. So
I wouldn't know, mine was already gone, so
so there you go. I'm proving you can grow a full head of Jim Morrison like hair while being on carnivore. So there you go.
how is it when I scolded you for not getting an Indiana Jones reference? You pulled the millennial card, but now you're talking about Jim Morrison and hairspray. How is that possible? How's that okay?
I transcend generations and time zones. Hence why I'm late.
Oh, that's your excuse for being late too?
Yeah.
All right.
That and me, my girlfriend, were going over the difference between sheep, and shit.
Hmm. Remind me which settings I need to set when I clear this with YouTube. I think we both
Educational.
I think we both used a 4-letter word already, and we're only 14 minutes in.
Darn, we just had to wait one more minute. We couldn't do it. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's good to be back.
Yeah, why don't you explain to the folks why you haven't been here? Why don't you go ahead and make your excuses for being like a month late?
I was here 2 weeks ago.
Where are you?
Yeah, I was. You could check the record. Still on the Love Boat. So 2 weeks ago, did Airbnb in Kansas City, and then last weekend Airbnb in St. Louis. So I've been doing the whole travel vlog thing. Yeah, Airbnb life. Kind of
You have? You
interesting.
been vlogging?
Well, there's a vlog in my head. It just hasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were talking about salt, getting salty.
Hmm. Yeah, Marge said it fixed up her headache.
Oh yeah, a little bit of extra sodium.
So Marge just got her hair done too. So you guys have that in common.
Yeah, I mean this is blow dried. My hair's not naturally this straight. I wish it was naturally like
That's
this.
straight.
Well, it's kind of frizzy, I suppose, but
We suppose, do you?
yeah. But natural, it's really curly.
You didn't just get out of a lightning storm or something?
No, not not
You
yet,
didn't throw your
anyways.
head in the dryer without some bounce sheets?
Fabric softener,
All right, so you've been loving this thing with a new girlfriend for like a month or something
something
crazy
like
like that.
that. Yeah.
Did I mention Jules is here? I think I did.
Hey, Jules.
ADS was here early.
Cool.
Of course, Sly's
Appreciate the
here.
support. Hey, Sly.
And Carol's here. Mindful Divergent Carol.
Nice. Got a whole heck of a crew.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like we're
nice.
building an audience or something. Kind of weird.
Yeah, well, people want to commune. They want to connect. So it's good that they're here. Of course, Christina was here. Alice is here. Raymond Neff is here. So I say Raymond Neff because you never know when Raymond Nazon's going to show up.
Is he due to make an appearance
One of these days.
one of these days?
One of these days. We should talk about the old days with Raymond. Recording with Raymond was always an interesting thing because if he stood up, he realized he's just wearing boxers. Well, hopefully he's wearing his boxers. So if any of you guys remember the good old days, Ray didn't like to wear pants. Didn't even
Who
know to wear
does?
shorts. And he's more of a boxer guy than a brief guy, right? I can't remember.
Were they like boxer briefs?
Probably the hybrid underwear.
Yeah.
May not mean a lot to you girls, but underwear came a long way in the last 10 years for us guys.
Yeah, it really has. I hear a lot of YouTubers plugging that sheath underwear. I don't know. Maybe I'll give that a try.
Those sheath underwear?
Sheath. It's called sheath underwear. Maybe we can get a sponsorship with sheath underwear. Send me some.
Maybe we can get some hairspray sponsors for you.
There you go. Hairspray. Or maybe just some like cow fat conditioner.
Cow fat conditioner. We'll get right on that. Sly or 5150 Keto Girl says connection is the opposite of addiction.
Yeah. I don't know who first coined that term. I heard it first from Teal Swan, my old spiritual leader back in the day, quasi cult leader, depending on who you talk to.
How many people here know
heard.
who Teal Swan is?
That's who I first heard it from. I don't know if she stole it from someone else, but it's really made its rounds in the last like 6 years or so.
Yeah.
So what you munching on, Tom? With chopsticks?
I'm doing steak M style.
Oh, okay. Some fattened steak. There you go. That's a mighty fine plate.
With chopsticks, just like Emily.
There you go.
I'm gonna be like M.
You're gonna grow up to be like him.
When I grow up to be like M, maybe I'll start doing CrossFit. Probably not gonna find me down the street at the Baptist church, but the rest of it.
At the Nethi church?
Yeah, probably not at Neathy's church. It's funny. Somebody asked me the other day how often I go to church, and I was like, weddings and funerals. Oh, so Jules is like proud of me for using chopsticks.
That's racist. Why? Because you're white.
Oh, there we go. There's the race card. Look, Jules, I was even doing it left hand earlier. Come on. How dare you? Ah, left hand. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anyone in my friend group that can't use chopsticks. I think because everyone eats like Asian food, so you just pick them up.
I think I already told this story, but stop me if I didn't. So, anyways, my grandmother came to California from Wisconsin during World War II
Mm-hmm.
because my grandfather had come out to get a job building ships for World War II. So there's a big shipyard down there called Todd Shipyard where they were building battleships for World War II as it was ramping up. And then the um my grandmother had a friend named Hannah, but Hannah was, Japanese American. So guess what happened to Hannah?
Ended up in the camp.
She ended up in a camp. So, anyways, Hannah wound up cooking. Like I think they lived in big like sort of like dormitory sort of situations. There's multiple families in each building or whatever. So Hannah wound up doing like cooking. Of course, my grandma came off the farm, was used to cooking for a big family. So after the war, they went into business, catering, and in San Pedro, there's a lot of Scandinavians, Japanese, lots of Japanese and Slavics and stuff like that. So since they were in the catering business, my mom grew up in it. So I grew up eating all that food, including the first time I had sashimi, I was like over the moon
Mm.
because if you ever had to choose between lutefisk and sashimi, the choice is clear. So people don't know what lutefisk is. It's a Norwegian codfish that's been dehydrated, and they literally it looks like a giant plastic piece of fish, and like it just sits around in baskets. In fact, uh, my ex girlfriend told a story of going to a hardware store. There was a basket of lutefisk sitting outside the front door, just not wrapped or anything. And a dog came along and peed on it. And she's like, "Daddy, the dog just peed on the lutefisk." And he's like, "Oh, it won't hurt it any. It's fine." So, so that's the life of lutefisk. And in order to reconstitute the lutefisk, they soak it in lye water. So they have to get really clean water, and then they literally go get some Red Devil lye, which you use for clearing drains, drain cleaner. And then they soak the dried fish in the lye water to reconstitute it, to rehydrate it. And then they cook it preferably outside. It's rather odoriferous. So, and then you drown it in butter and eat it. And it's actually quite delicious once you get past the enormity of the odor. So anyways, that's the kind of fish I grew up eating. I mean, sometimes I'd cook it at home in the holidays, and I'd literally spend all day outside. Didn't matter how cold it was. Didn't matter if it's that one year when it actually snowed in Pasadena. I was not going in the house while that was cooking because it does not smell like food. It smells like, I don't know, rotten fish carcass or something, but it smells horrible. But I know somehow it tastes delicious. I'm sure we all know that food that smells horrible but tastes delicious. So, anyways, I love me some. And for me, eating the raw beef is really very similar to eating like raw tuna. In fact, my buddy Aaron is out pulling tuna out of the ocean right now. I'm
Nice.
expecting that call maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly when I think he gets back tomorrow night. Go over there with a saw in hand, chop up some giant fish, stuff my face with sashimi and fresh plant food because he has to make the hardcore Japanese wasabi to go with it.
Mm.
And you haven't had wasabi until that first bite launches you into orbit. Like it's literally so powerful that like you go somewhere else for about 12 seconds. That's the real stuff. Yeah. ADS says the sounds like the carnivore equivalent to durian. Yeah. It smells like hot durian is what it smells like when it's cooking. It's about that level. I don't know why anybody would even bother with the durian. It's so noxious. But
What's durian?
it's that fruit, that stupid
Oh,
fruit, spike fruit thing.
right.
Jules says, "Oh, I love clam jerky. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm sure many would turn their nose up at it. I'm gonna try.
Hokkaido,
Yeah,
Hokkaido
Hokkaido
clams.
clams are awesome. Oh, now I have something new to find. I can't wait to take that to the office. Hmm. So, what have you been eating?
Yeah, so I mean, some trips out, I haven't posted about it yet, but they have a famous barbecue restaurant in a small town out here called Lebanon, and it's called Dodd's Catfish and Barbecue. And I thought it was being cool. I ordered a la carte plate of pork ribs, and they just had too much spice and like rub on them,
Yeah,
and like they kind of wrecked my stomach like the next night. So
like that Korean barbecue that cleaned me and Joe out.
not maybe not as bad, or maybe
Mm.
as bad. I don't know. I was fine after eating it. You're the one guys that had the problem. Your old
Yeah, we still
guts.
can't figure that out.
Yeah. Even
You're
though I
the
had it twice.
makes no sense.
Although I am have a little bit of stomach issues today because we I bought a like a hot pot and grill. Um
What?
hot pot. So like Chinese soup, you put like spices and stuff in. Okay, shabu shabu. Does that
Mm.
sound? Is that basically shabu shabu hot pot? Just depends on what part of Asia you're talking about.
So you actually went to a restaurant and ate it, or you bought one to make it at home?
I bought one to make it at home.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like where you drop the meat in the hot water or hot
yeah,
broth. Oh, okay,
right.
gotcha.
Yeah, and I even bought like thinly sliced meat and stuff like that too.
Mm.
Um, and we threw in like a spicy mix and like a whatever spices mix, and that's been giving me some trouble today. So I mean, a few things here and there. um yeah, shabu is Japanese hot pot. Hot pot, I don't know how to say it in Chinese. Yeah, right.
Ask your girlfriend. Isn't she right there?
She's in the room. I should ask her how to say hot pot in Chinese, and
Why
then
don't you invite her
i
on?
won't i won't remember.
Invite her on. Put her on the spot.
I'll have to invite her on sometime.
How about now?
She's busy.
Too busy to tell you how to say hot pot in Mandarin? Come on.
I'll have to ask her. I'll text her. See if she can come out and say it. But oh, my Chinese is coming along a little bit. So there we go. Learning a little bit of Chinese,
Excellent.
Mandarin. Yeah.
I think Mindful Divergent asked, did you guys have an awesome visit? I think she's referring to the visit of you
And
and
Joe.
Joe coming out. But she might be asking about
Huagu, I'm guessing.
Waggle.
Or Wagu. Oh. In Mandarin. That's hot pot in Mandarin.
Waggle.
Wagu.
What kind of consultant is your girlfriend if she can't answer questions in a podcast? Come on.
She's not a consultant. She's a massage therapist. I
How
don't
dare
know.
you? Don't put limits on the girl.
I really would be great to do an episode with her for her talking about her Mongolian background.
Yeah, well, why don't we do it both in English and Mandarin? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I missed a comment from Marge a while back. She said she's thinking of visiting Cali. Any recommendations? What kind of recommendations you want? Places to eat? Eat at
Surfing.
my house. I've been trained by Chef Joe Zumbo in the art of fire and meat,
Huago. Okay.
and
I'll have to pass that over.
I've
Anyway.
been trained by Emily in how to drop food on the keyboard.
And the mic.
Oh,
See,
well.
the thing about being carnivore is that even when you drop your food, you don't really make a mess.
Mm-mm.
Like back in the day when I had like ketchup and mustard to deal with, ketchup and mustard was all over the place. And you could talk to Tom. I'm not the cleanest eater, still not. But my mess is greatly reduced on carnivore compared to pre-carnivore.
It took 2 weeks for me to train him to chew with his mouth closed. So yeah, we'll recap your visit for mindful divergence. Justin got here a couple days before Joe.
Yeah.
Flew in from Springfield, Missouri, and we went to Rammstein at the Coliseum. We went to see a rock concert at the Los Angeles Coliseum.
Well, the
And
first night we went and did sashimi.
oh, that's right. Your buddy was that Andrew that came?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all. I mean, Justin and I each ordered the giant sashimi platter, and the chef was like, "Huh? Each of you? Like, bring it." So yeah, we ate a large portion of raw fish that night,
Hmm.
and then the next night we went to the Coliseum to see Rammstein. And
Hmm.
I know people hear comments like this all the time, but truly the greatest show on earth.
Hmm.
2.2 million watts of incredible sound, fireworks, explosions, flamethrowers, banners, confetti of all color,
Well,
smoke.
black and white.
Yeah, I think they had some blue confetti too.
Maybe.
But the more fire than I've ever seen. I saw more fire, and I live in California where the place catches on fire all the time. I saw more fire on one night than I did normally in like 10 years. It's amazing. They must have had giant fuel tanks back there because, like, they must have burned 1,000 gallons of fuel. So yeah, it was an amazing show, and my buddy Marissa went with us. Um, my buddy from work, we had a great time, got our minds blown, went back the next night. It was
With
amazing.
Joe.
Picked Joe up. Joe had to wear his Bo Jackson Raiders jersey, so as soon as we got out of the car in downtown LA, he was making friends. Raider Nation. So yeah, so it was a good times. We ate a rotisserie chicken in a dirt lot
Yeah.
down the street from the Coliseum and made friends with all the other Raiders fans. It was pretty
Uh-huh.
incredible.
Uh-huh.
And even my buddy Marissa and her boyfriend came back for another night of Rammstein because they couldn't get over it. And we went to Pink's Hot Dog. We went to In and Out like 40 times. We even saw a couple that just got married walking into In and Out. So the wedding party was like uh, the cool people, anyways. Went to In and
Yeah.
Out after the wedding. So
Beat on Ocean, Dry Age Room, definite highlight, of course. Need to have Doug Farnsworth on.
yeah, I was supposed to do a video with Doug because Doug's executive chef for a chain of nice restaurants here, and he took us on a tour of the dry aging room where they have at least 10,000 pounds of mostly ribeye aging away in this beautiful, beautiful cooler with a giant wall made out of salt bricks and inoculated with all the right strains. And so We went in there looking for a ribeye roast that was ready to be cut up and served in the restaurant. Beautiful restaurant right on Ocean Boulevard in Santa Monica, almost right across from the pier.
Yeah.
Ever been there? So, anyways, we got the VIP treatment. I mean, on Ocean. Had an amazing lunch there. Was Chef Doug Farnsworth, and of course Joe was there. And he also walked us down to the Ocean Grill. No, the Water Grill. That's
The
what's called.
water grill.
Another one of
Yeah.
the restaurants. Yeah. So it was amazing. Um, and then of course we walked around Santa Monica a bunch. We were all over LA. Like I said, Pink's Hot Dogs. Where else did we go?
The Getty.
Oh yeah, we went to the Getty. We
Of
didn't
all
get any
places.
great food there,
No.
but we looked at artwork until we were bored out of our minds.
Well, we had to go. Didn't we have somewhere else to go that day? Yeah, we were trying to pack in so much stuff every day. It was unreal.
Yeah, if people don't know, the Getty is there's actually two Gettys. There's the big one, and then there's the Villa, but they're both full of art, statues, and paintings and stuff. So as we tooled around there, and I went to a Dodger game with Joe one night. You were doing something else, right?
Yeah, I went out to dinner with some friends, Korean barbecue. Yeah, some other friends.
That's right. And God, what else? We sat in a lot of traffic.
Joe could not believe what the traffic is like.
Joe had never seen a 16 lane freeway before, much less sat in traffic. So he's like, "Oh, I gotta film this. Nobody's gonna believe this back home." And they don't have the crazy overpasses that go way up in the sky too. So he kept us like every time we went through an interchange between two freeways, he's like, "Oh my god, it looks like giant concrete spaghetti in the sky." We see it every time. Oh, Marge is checking out already.
Oh, good night, Marjorie.
Marge is turning into a pumpkin already. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock Miami time, so I think I'll let her slide. I don't know. I harass her about it tomorrow. So anyways, we had a good time. We did a million things. It's hard to remember all the things we did.
Oh yeah, there's a list somewhere.
There is a list somewhere. Although
And we do have videos, part 1 and part 2, up on YouTube of our vacation. So
oh yeah,
we talk about many of the exploits. We did Downtown Disney and Not Scary Farm in the same day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, tell them what Not Scary Farm is for all the out of towners.
Yeah, so Not Scary Farm is like a theme park turned into a haunted house, where the entire thing is in a haunted house, and there's haunted houses, and you can go on rides, and they've got quote unquote actors, monsters running around the theme park. They have some of them called sliders, where they run and they slide on their knees and make sparks and scare people. It's really funny. My highlight of that night was that me and Joe were in some fog, and a monster had just scared these like tween girls or whatever. And then like I wait like 3 minutes and it's super foggy, and I make like a big monstrous yell, and I made the girl scream as well, and it was hilarious. That was great.
Alice, do you want to tell tell my stories for me? I want to hear somebody else tell this. Tell them the train ride.
Oh, right. We were at the so they have a, those at Disneyland, or I'm familiar with Disneyland, how they have Thunder Mountain, where it's a big train ride, goes through like an old abandoned mine. In Not Sperry Farm, they have something very similar, except it moves a little slower. We all had fast passes for the night, and so we got on the ride first before everyone else loads. So we get on the ride, and we're moving forward up to meet everyone else that's going to come on the ride. And there's this girl who's 15 or 16, points right at Tom and says, "Are you my dad?" And Tom goes, maybe? I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, it was super weird.
It was so funny. It was the most random thing. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was random. It was like really awkward, and then I'm like, I feel bad for this girl, and I was like, I was kind of like, who's your mom, you know? And then she didn't answer, and then by the time we got off the ride, she disappeared. So the awkwardness almost faded. So,
Yeah, that
and
was
then tell
great.
the other awkward moment
The other
when we were coming
awkward.
out of the maze.
Oh, okay. If you want me to tell that story.
Yeah, just tell it. It's just so weird. It was such a weird night. I was like, there has got to be some bad drugs on the loose.
So we're going through one of the mazes, and I'm behind Tom. Joe's behind me. And I see one of the quote unquote actors, monsters, get pretty fresh with Tom. I don't know how it started, but I think uh, Tom was like, "Ooh, I like you," or something like that.
She
Because
popped up.
she
She
popped.
popped up and was like growling at me, and she,
Yeah.
she's got the makeup on like she's a corpse or something. She's wearing some antique clothing, and she's like in my face, whatever. And then I was laughing, because she was like really close. She was like this close to my face, and then and we're just like at the exit, right? This thing's just about over, and then and I'm kind of laughing, and she's like, "Ooh, I like you." And I was like, I like you too." And then
She grabs his beard and
she
pulls
goes,
him, pulls her.
she starts stroking it, and then she
Yeah.
pulls me in. Oh, and I guess that's how you wind up with kids you don't know about. I don't know.
So it sounds like quite maybe.
Yeah.
We didn't eat anything there. We tried to talk Joe into getting a funnel cake, but he wasn't having it.
You just said something like, "I don't know, fucking hell, I'll get one in a coma."
Yeah, turkey legs at Disneyland are pretty good.
I don't think I've ever had one there. I've had one at the fair, but I didn't even remember them at Disneyland.
Yeah, they're fake though. Like they're turkey meat, like squished into the shape
Oh.
of a. Yeah, it looks like a turkey leg, but it's not all like turkey leg meat. Yeah, it's kind of weird concoction thing.
But there's
But
no
they are
bone,
really
huh?
good.
Just
No,
chunk.
there's a bone. There's a
Huh.
bone and tendon and all that stuff, but
Some
they're
kind
like
of molded turkey. Huh?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I used to work at Disneyland. That was interesting. It's a fun time.
Yeah, how was it? Was the food any of the food any good?
Yeah, the food's good. You know, the nice restaurants and stuff.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
when you get like a 30% discount.
Right? Yeah, it's a little pricey there.
Yeah, a bit.
We went to downtown Disney when Joe was here. Remember that?
Yeah.
We
also
didn't go in the theme park, but
no, because we didn't have $500 at the time spend on the tickets.
yeah, I don't exactly fit in those rides very well. So my ex-wife was a Disney nut, and I remember the last time we went down there, went to the Indiana Jones ride. I think they closed
I
it.
love that ride. That's like my favorite ride.
And just the cart, like going from side to side like that, was pinched in there so tight, like my hips were sore. Just like slam, slam, slam. So probably better for you child-sized people.
I fit on all the rides. I fit so well that I'm afraid I'm going to fall out some of them. I'm like, is this secure?
Well, at that Not Scary Farm, we went down that log ride, right? Where you go down a waterfall at the end, they take your picture. And it was like you were supposed to sit down and then grab the handles on either side. I could only get one arm in on one side. So I held on with one hand the whole time. It's like,
well, centrifugal force has your back.
Not a very big log. Yeah, no, I never felt like I was going to fall out or anything.
That's a great picture. I love that picture.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we posted. We'll post it again. I don't
Yeah,
know, it
it was.
might not be in um Meat Mosaic. I know we've posted it amongst ourselves, so we'll put some of that stuff in there. So anyways, there's lots of things to do in Southern California if you can put up with the traffic.
Oh, and once on the haunted, what's it called? Haunted Mansion. For a school trip, we covered so in the haunted mansion they have the like fortune teller's head stuck in
Mm,
like a fortune teller's
it's like a
crystal ball.
looks like a crystal ball. Yeah.
Yeah, so we covered her in spitwads in high school
Nice.
or like in middle school.
Mm.
And so much so they shut down the ride and they were looking for us.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. We were complete and total menaces on that trip.
I know one time I was waiting in line to get on the Pirates of the Caribbean,
Mhm.
which you know has been on. It's another boat ride, but it's all indoor.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of standing on the
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
yeah. So the standing there waiting to get in the on the next boat, and a lady came walking out in the water. She was in the water walking backwards out of the ride, and she was carrying her shoes. And I'm like, what? It's like an adult, like a 40-year-old woman, and you're like, it's not that scary. What the hell's going on? So, yep. Anyways, there's lots of things to do, and you can't eat carnivore here. Oh, Jules is saying, wow. Let's see.
5 foot person.
Alice liked the giant spaghetti, concrete spaghetti comment, and haha, maybe. I'm never gonna figure out what that was about. But Jules loves Disneyland. She called it Disneyland. My joke, uh, always eat turkey leg. My husband has sensory overload, so he hates it. Yeah, Disneyland is not the place to go when you're a little edgy because it is overwhelming. Especially for me, it was always like the crowds. It's like constant people. It was like you go find the open space, and then me too, Justin. Indiana Jones. I laughed like a maniac. I never got the Indiana Jones right. I mean, it was kind of reminiscent of the movies and stuff, but it was like, hmm. So maybe you guys can expound on why it's so wonderful. And Jules also says, speaking as a 5 foot person, being compact is great sometimes. LOL. Yeah, and it's funny. My mom was only 5 feet tall, so it's kind of weird. So I grew up around some short people. My grandma. My grandma was shorter than my mom. It's crazy, tiny little people. So your mom's not very tall, is she, Justin?
She's 5'3", 5'2". I think she's 5'2".
Mhm. So what is it about the Indiana Jones ride?
It's just I don't know. It's pretty fast, pretty intense. There's more to look at than the Space Mountain. And
Mm,
like if you get the driver's seat and the person's yelling at you, like don't do that. And then like at the end, it has the different endings. There's the 1, 2, and 3. At least they used to do it,
mm,
and like they're all a little different. Like one is the ending, which typically everyone gets, where the giant ball comes rolling at you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's other endings. Yeah, which
Oh,
is pretty cool. Yeah, different rooms and stuff like that.
mm,
And then when they do the darts,
right.
like it actually shoots air like into your ears or whatever, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, because I stood up during that part because I want to know what would happen. I was like, ah. And then the Beatles. Wait, are there Beatles in it? I swear there's Beatles. Maybe not. And the giant snake, of course. The giant snake is freaking cool. And the rickety bridge, the fire. Come on, man. It's so cool.
It's been a while. It was probably, I hate to say it, it could have been close to 20 years since I've been there.
And I think one time I waited 2 hours to get on that ride. And the
Holy
line
moly.
was crazy, like all throughout the outside. Like,
Really? Hmm.
One of the times I remember it was just being like crazy.
How many turkey legs could you eat while you're standing in line?
I don't know, never challenge myself. See, Jules gets me.
Hmm.
Jules is my bestie.
Hmm.
Maybe me and Jules should be a podcast, not me and Tom.
Maybe. Maybe.
So, Tom, you've been
Yeah.
on with Jonathan once, but split into two times. Any?
Mhm.
I watched part one. Haven't watched part two yet. Do you? What do you guys go over more in part two, or maybe if you want to talk about part one a little bit?
Um. No, I mean I was commenting on that earlier. You referred to me as an athlete, and I was like, "Who are you talking to?" So yeah, no, it was a great talk. I mean, we got to cover a lot of ground that, like, my favorite topics. Eating, weightlifting, being on the spectrum. So he called me out in the beginning. It's like we're like 10 minutes in. He's like, it's Tom doesn't make eye contact. It's very common. It's like, oh, here we go. He's right, but I know I throw people off all the time with that. Like, I had solar put on my house, and the electrician was here. He's a real nice guy, and I love talking to him. But like, he'd be explaining stuff, and he was like, "What are you looking at? What are you I was like, "Oh, I got to trim that tree over there." And, oh, okay, he's going on. Oh, what are you looking at? Did I do something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm just listening. And then my boss sometimes he's like, he's talking, and I'm staring at the floor. So he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "Remember, you know, back before we knew what a monster Bill Cosby was. It was like he had that joke where he's like, dates and places are down there, and people's names are up there. So it's like people do that, and just some people just do it more, right? But yeah, anyways, now he pointed that out, and of course, when you're recording, it's like you don't know where to look because like Justin's, if I could point, oh, it looks better. Justin's actually over here on my screen. I'm over here. My camera's up there. It's like it's even harder when you're recording. So I don't worry about it anymore. You know me, I'm stubborn. It's
Right.
like it's like go to Thanksgiving. Some they know not to offer me mashed potatoes twice because I'll never shut up. Somebody will go, "Oh, spinach is good for you," and I'm like, "Is it?" Let's talk about that for 3 hours.
So I have been doing my best to get my girlfriend to eat all the worst American food. Now I don't mean worst tasting, I mean like bad for you. So we went to, of all places this morning, Cracker Barrel. I was like, oh, there's some good old like lose your arm to diabetes food right there, Crackle Barrel. I don't, do they have Crackle Barrel in California? I was asking her, but she wasn't sure.
There is, but like you don't see them like right around LA, I don't think, but like I think I've been to one with people. I'm trying to remember where it is. I'll look it up.
So we sat down and I was like, "Oh, what do you want?" I showed her the menu night before, but and she got turkey. She got turkey fried steak is what she got. So it was like breaded, crusted turkey, deep fried. And I was like, with gravy. And I was like, yeah, you should definitely get that. And she really liked it. And I was like, oh, for your side, get dumplings. So she got to try American dumplings, and she was disappointed because Chinese dumplings, Asian dumplings have meat and like vegetables and stuff in them, and they're like, very nice. And this was just like fried dough on her plate, basically. And then she got it was supposed to be like fried apples or something. I don't know if they got it wrong, but it was just like a gooey, globby apple, basically, is what they gave her. She's like, that's not fried. That's not a fried apple. But she's like, it's really good. It's really sweet. So
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty funny. And I
So,
even had a little bit of biscuit and a little bit of cornbread.
ew, that's why you don't feel good.
biscuit and cornbread.
So I looked it up, and there's a Cracker Barrel in Rialto, of all places.
Mm.
A Cracker Barrel in Victorville,
I
and
could see
one
it being in Victorville.
and one in Camarillo. So
Wow, very random.
yeah, I think it was the one in Victorville I went to with somebody.
Mm.
There's one in Santa Maria and Bakersfield as well. So Sacramento, Rockland,
There's a few. They're out there.
Lawndale. Yeah, so there's like a half dozen spread out, but I mean, Rockland and Sacramento are quite a ways north of here. So, anyways, yeah. So, is there anything carnivore worthy at Cracker Barrel?
Oh yeah, their burger was bomb. It was a
Mm.
really good burger. They have I think it's called the Crackle Barrel Burger or whatever. Um, but yeah, that was good and no problems getting no bun and nothing on it. You know, she brought me the mayonnaise on the side. Kind of weird that their burger just comes with mayonnaise. Never one of those big mayonnaise people, but I guess it's a hit around here. I don't know.
That was the thing I discovered when I was in Costa Rica. Those people love mayonnaise. I did not see that coming, but we were at like a food court in this giant mall. Oh, by the way, and we were at this nice mall. Whatever you do, don't take any pictures, man. I was impressed with this mall. I was like, a lot of nice architectural features, big open space in the middle. I was snapping some pictures and fucking security descended on me. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just taking a picture. I'm just a tourist. And they're like, no pictures, no pictures. I was like, okay. But they had some amazing potato salad.
Mm,
This is long before carnivore, obviously.
right.
This was.
Tater salad.
They had some crazy tater salad down there. So if you find yourself in Costa Rica in need of mayonnaise, it is available. If you're not carnivore, try the potato salad. Just saying. They also ate some giant fried corn fritter thing. I didn't even know what it was. It was like it's kind of like a fry bread made from corn.
Mhm.
It was huge. This is massive, like disc like thing.
Did it have cinnamon and sugar on it?
Well, they had stuff to put on it, but they were putting on like salt and hot sauce and vinegar or
Oh,
something. And I was like, I didn't even know what I was eating. So it was like walking around food. Went to like a kind of almost like a swap meet. It's like indoor, but it was like a bunch of tiny little shops, all kinds of different shops, inside. They were, something. It's like, well, somebody told me to give it a try because it's like a, local staple. It was good.
well, it's probably at least fried in lard and not vegetable oil, but maybe I don't know. No chance.
No,
Peanut oil.
I remember the giant jug of vegetable slop. Couldn't tell you what it was squeezed out of, but yeah, I saw the giant like 5-gallon jug of vegetable oil. So I mean, back then I didn't know any better. So
Right. Yeah.
everything came with a fried plantain with some sort of sweet syrupy stuff on it too. It was good.
Right.
But actually, yeah, the food down there was great. It's easy to be a tourist there,
Right.
So it's nice, very nice place to visit. Lots of coffee too. You like coffee? Go on down to Costa Rica. They got plenty. So,
Where are you in your relationship to coffee at the moment?
I had a cup yesterday. So like, kind of like weekend, I'll have one. Like when I'm hanging out in the kitchen cooking or whatever, it just sounds good. Have some coffee. Oh, and then sometimes, like the thing's been God, I'm so short on time, like during the week. So I've been doing the raw egg thing. So one of the things I've done was, I'll take like a half dozen eggs and blend them so they're not so sloppy.
Hmm.
so I don't have pieces of egg hanging in my beard. And I'll if I have coffee that's not hot, I'll dump it in there and drink it with it for breakfast.
Coffee and egg. There you go.
So yeah, I've had that a couple of times. But so where are you with the coffee?
I had one yesterday too. I had like a Chinese coffee. It's like a drip coffee,
Mm.
and it had me wired. My girlfriend said it was way too weak, and she had another pot of regular coffee. Not a pot, but she had a cup of like regular coffee. Um, but yeah, that seemed to not bother me really. Every kind of weekend, every once in a while, here and there. You know, I don't think I'll ever be
Yeah,
like a regular coffee drinker just because it's not really my thing. Um, if I could bring back green tea back in my life, I would be pretty happy.
dude. Why you want to hurt yourself?
Because I really think the migraines are in full remission. Like I've been
Yeah, but
pretty.
what's the attraction to green tea?
Oh, I just love green tea. It's just the smell, the taste. A jasmine green tea. There's just no coffee that can compare.
I don't know you.
Bye, Alice. Have a nice night.
99 Alice. Later, alligator. So, I mean, you like the flavor of the green tea that much?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Mm,
do,
yikes.
especially a jasmine green tea. So sweet, so
Mm,
nice. Yasmin, Yasmin green tea.
mm. All right, then.
I'm
Green
from the
tea.
Orient, so of course I drink tea.
I mean, isn't it like green tea like one of the super high oxalate foods?
Yeah, no, it's so bad.
So, but you haven't been drinking it. How much coffee you been drinking a week?
Like a cup. I don't know if that.
A day? I mean, it's basically your girlfriend made you some Chinese drip coffee, right?
Yeah, so that was yesterday.
That was super spazzo for you.
Yeah, it was.
In case I haven't mentioned it, if you give Justin coffee, and I've done it a few times, he goes off. He bounces around like a freaking jackhammer for like an hour at least. Can't stop talking. And you put MCT oil in it, and he's like, "Rah!"
I am the great Cornholio. I need TP for my bowl. Yeah, no, I go all Beavis style with that. I do like those bubbly bounce.
Yeah, they're nice.
Those wire me up, but not too much. I don't get shaky and like caffeine overload.
Mm. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't have it, hasn't had one, there's a seltzer, it's just basically carbonated water, and they usually have some sort of flavor, but there's no sugar or anything, and it's called bubbly. You can buy it at the supermarket, but they have a caffeinated one called Bubbly Bounce, and it's so a typical cup of coffee is like 100 milligrams of caffeine, somewhere around there, 80, 100, 120, and a Bubbly Bounce is 35, so it's somewhere approximately a third of a cup of coffee's worth of caffeine in carbonated water. And they're usually like some kind of citrus flavor to them or something. I like them too. I like
Yeah.
them.
Well, there's triple berry, citrus mandarin, or something, and then
Oh
one
my
other
god, you've
one.
remembered the flavors.
I remember two of the flavors. I
Oh
can't
my
remember the
god.
third one. I've got a case of it right behind me. Like pretty much every time I go to Walmart, I pick up a case. My
There you
favorite
go.
flavor is the citrus cherry. Citrus cherry to me is my favorite flavor. The regular bubbly sucks. Like all the flavors suck except for the blackberry. That one's good.
Yeah, I think they were fine. I
Ugh.
mean, I have a bunch, and honestly, I drink them like super slow. I still have all that. What was that Perrier flavored stuff that I bought when you got here? It's
Mm.
still in the fridge. So. But I like sipping on a seltzer.
Yeah.
So hey, I'll even drink clump soda. I know it's like one of the local social places here. It's called Boondocks, and it's basically they got the game on and they have live music and stuff. Sometimes I go in there, just drink club soda, see what's happening. They have a nice assortment of hot dogs. So, yeah, it's like a little fizzy water. I know some people have a problem with it, carbonated water, but I don't know. Doesn't seem to bother me. Maybe I don't drink enough. I mean, everything goes back to the dose makes the poison, right?
Right.
And I'm always trying to balance quality of life. So I mean, I be super strict and only eat raw meat all the time. Oop, can't get it for the camera. No, most of the time. You know, eat some cooked meat, eat some seltzer, maybe drink some whiskey.
Occasional glass of wine.
Yeah. Actually, had a glass of wine with my prime rib last night.
Nice. There you go.
Mhm. So, anyways,
Well, as long as the major symptoms that you went carnivore for aren't coming back, I always see it as you're probably all right then. I think uh what is it? Within 3 days of quitting carbohydrates, your metabolics start to reset pretty much, something like
mhm.
that. So having a little bit of whatever, within 3 days, you're thinking that your body's pretty much reset itself, more or less. Once you've reached this, I think, again, different advice or different takes depending on where you are in the journey. I think once you've hit that 2.5, 3 year, 2 year mark of being pretty strict, a lot of people seem that they can go off and do all right. And I'm ridiculously been surprised the last 3 months, um, how far off I can go and still feel good and be all right and everything. So it's, yeah, certainly truly, true healing, does seem to take place. So that was a very nice side effect.
Yeah, I
From
mean,
Jules. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
yeah, go ahead and read her comment.
Yeah. From Jules, any side effects of being on carnivore question mark, like from oxalates being released? That really depends on the person. I'm not really able to pinpoint what for me, if I could point to, oh, this was oxalate dumping, or I mean, obviously low energy in the beginning. I mean, a lot of so-called side effects are typically typically stuff in the beginning are side effects. Like there's nothing that really occurs to me now that I can pinpoint a side effect of carnivore aside from adjusting fat to protein uh, in the bathroom that shows up in the bathroom. But besides that, I really can't think of anything. Tom, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think the thing with back to the oxalate dumping is number one, how much oxalate have you stored, right?
Right,
That's going to vary greatly on that person's innate ability to eliminate oxalate all the time, and then how much extra oxalate they're consuming, right?
right,
So it's going to depend on how much you stored. I mean, some people have oxalate in their body, but they don't have any kidney stones, right? So you're going to have entirely different symptoms. So, and as we know, the body has other processes that are prioritized that prevent oxalate dumping, right?
hmm
Um, so the question is, how fast are those oxalates coming out? I mean, I'm sure people go on carnivore and start eliminating oxalates and don't even notice, right?
right,
And then you get other people, it's like they have a lot stored up and their body's just like, oh, here's our opportunity, boom, whatever. And the symptoms are all over the place, from like rashes with like little crystals coming out in your eyes, coming out in your urine, kidney pain from kidney stones breaking up. And the upside is that stuff's going away, so, or obviously you can have joint pain from it, and vulvodynia, which is a big deal for the girls, because it can be painful just sit, much less, have intercourse. So that is all over the place. And I think we don't really know because, I mean, I don't think we know how much oxalate anybody stored. And I mean, like, who knows? I mean, you were drinking green tea. How much you got stored away
Oh
from
yeah, daily for years
that?
drinking green tea.
So people eat beans, drink coffee, cactus. There's a lot of really high oxalate foods that, you know,
Spinach, kale, did all
mm,
that too.
actually, I think, isn't kale one of the ones that doesn't have a lot of oxalate, surprisingly? I forget. But one
Maybe.
of those vegetables didn't, and I was shocked.
Mm.
So I don't know. But anyways, yeah, spinach and stuff like that apparently has a lot. So and it goes refer back to the people on the spectrum, people who are autistic typically have higher level of oxalate, and we don't know why, and it probably has to do with not being able to eliminate the extra oxalic acid fast enough, but nobody really knows. But it just points out that people are different, and we don't exactly know. Is there be some sort of um reason
Probably
why
because kale is indigestible.
would there be some reason why people on ASD ate more high oxalate foods? Maybe. I mean, tend to associate things with comfort food. People who have really small diets, they eat a lot of french fries or chicken tenders or something, and those two foods I wouldn't I wouldn't expect to be high in oxalate. So I don't know.
Yeah, so really it kind of just depends, and that's why it's best to be one-on-one, working with someone one-on-one, because it's really hard to be general about such as that. And I'm not even sure if I would consider that a side effect of carnivore as a side effect of how you ate before carnivore. It's not that carnivore is causing the oxalate dumping; it's a sign of healing. So I don't know. I know it's semantics, but you know, try to be fair to the diet, I suppose.
Eh,
But yeah, work with a coach. Me and Tom both consult if you feel like it, if you like it, if you like what we say, like or don't like what we say as well.
yeah,
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell. Give us some Fonzies. Hey, stole that
yeah.
from someone else. There you go.
Pass the links around.
Pass the links around to your friends and enemies.
So
Leave us
if you
on.
should happen to leave us on when you're not home, entertain the cat and the dog while you're out.
Mhm.
To let it roll.
And
But thanks everybody for coming.
yeah, share it with someone that could use this, or someone that loves Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and vlogging, talking about travels and vacations, I
How to eat,
suppose.
how to target those turkey legs at Disneyland.
There you go.
Clam jerky,
And clam jerky,
hot pot, Chinese coffee.
Chinese coffee. There you go. All
So
right. Good
good
night,
night, everybody.
Jules. Good night,
Sleep
everybody.
tight.
Sleep well.
Eat some meat. Feel better.
Better. And
Whatever you
whatever you
do,
do, don't
don't
fall down
fall down the
the
carb
carb
hole.
hole.
Hole, hole, hole.
Ho, ho, ho,
Ending
ho, ho,
broadcast.
ho,